Hello, Internet. That's definitely something that Lizzie says at the beginning of an episode. Hello, it's me. I'm back to watch more of this show with you and with a special guest we'll bring on in a moment after I plug my Patreon. Extended episodes, bonus episodes, weird stuff. My name is Ashley Clements.
My name is Mary Kate Wiles.
And this is the Look Back Diaries.
The Look Back Diaries. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
With you, it's a duet.
I love that.
You are my duet partner of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries.
I'm honored. I'm so honored.
Thank you so much for joining me again.
Oh, thank you for
Always a
having
pleasure
me.
to have you on.
Always a pleasure to be here.
This episode is, I think, pretty key in the Lydia-Lizzie relationship. That's what I remember when I was making the list of important episodes to have you on for, that this was kind of a key moment.
It's a big one, yeah.
For these girls. And so I thought that I would have you on and then we would look back at it. Yes?
I love to look back.
Here we go.
I was at a party last night. Specifically, the party
How can we tell?
was manipulated into doing
Yeah, I don't know how we could tell. It's unclear. Like, I don't look hungover. I don't have like makeup smudged around.
I've got a beer type of way, but more in the private caterers, swan sculptures. I'm sorry, what exactly is ossobuco type of way? It was both awesome.
Ossobuco is usually veal, but sometimes beef.
But through all the craziness, the biggest thing
And not a great party dish, honestly.
Yeah.
You need
Sophie Bennett. And Jane didn't come home last night.
What?
I know what you're thinking. Looks like somebody may have gotten binged last night. But seriously? No. All of you get your dirty minds.
Sorry, I'm just so enraptured in watching this episode.
I don't remember what happened, so you're the one who, Lydia is the one who coined binging, right?
I think so, yeah. Julia's in this episode too.
She is, and she makes a very good point.
I mean, how do you know that they didn't
Bing? Okay, really?
Did I does Lizzie make up binging, or did Lydia? Feels like Lydia.
I
I
think
don't remember.
I don't remember.
Swans are mean birds.
I have ever laid my eyes upon.
Your Jane is delightful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just like friendly mocking.
So perfect and wonderful. It's as if the clouds parted for the stars.
We're losing the little
Especially bright.
purple plastic necklace that for some reason is part of this costume as well. Yeah, it's just peeking out.
I forgot about that.
Not in the script. Well, that's totally what he did, right?
Oh, I forgot about this.
I wasn't there. Yeah, that was probably no more than 80% accurate. Okay, 50. But seriously, I got a text from Jane this morning. Stayed up.
That is my phone, my old phone case.
It was so perfect.
It
Had
was just
breakfast with
purple.
him. Details later.
Tiny little
So
phone.
cute.
Tiny little
About it later. But you know
iPhone
Staying up all
3,
night
4?
talking.
Oh.
That is literally, in Jane's words, perfect. Only the deepest love should lead to marriage. Seriously, remember that. Which is probably
That's
why
a-
Jane
that's
will
a
live in a mansion and
good
I will end up a spinster.
piece of advice.
I'm gonna lose Jane.
And that's a terrifying moment.
I'm gonna lose her.
Oh.
She's gonna
It's
lose
funny,
her.
all I remember about this episode is your part. So I'm like, when
Yeah,
do you
me
come in?
And then Caroline will
you.
make her eat only organic produce. At least you won't be forcing down green bean gelatin, am I right? Okay, I'm overreacting. This situation could obviously be a lot worse.
Cue me.
There you go. That's a cute necklace you're wearing.
No thanks.
Just contemplating the loss of my beloved sister.
I'm wearing a Banana Republic shirt.
Leo, we still have me, right?
Oh, and that.
Lucky me.
Oh, this is so heartbreaking.
Completely irresponsible.
I'm
Woof.
sorry. I'm sorry. In your face.
Woof.
I'm sorry.
See how you're doing
Woof.
last night. Didn't we have so much fun?
Oh, messed up those lines.
That was fun.
And aren't you glad that I made Mr. Bingley throw that
We
totally
stayed in it.
awesome party?
He didn't.
I'll admit, despite your calculated manipulation, that it was Okay, yeah, that does need to stop.
Oh,
No
so maybe I
regrets, right?
introduced it and then I didn't like
You have one.
where it
I think
went.
so.
I'm totally gonna regret this, huh?
Nope. You're gonna love it. Just hold out your hand.
So I pointed out the necklace earlier, which we established,
I
so that
found
I
it.
could get it back now.
Thank you.
You're very welcome,
I
Lizzie.
like that I waited to give it to you until we were on camera.
Yeah.
What have you done with my baby sister?
After you were mean to me.
And then we have this moment.
Yeah.
What? Don't you want more viewers?
For some reason, we're like leaning into straight girls kissing for attention.
Yum. Yep. What an episode.
What an episode!
Lots going
But
on.
I remember it being a very turning point moment in.
Mhm.
It's a moment in which we see not only that Lydia looks up to Lizzie and like wants her approval, but that she is also a good, thoughtful sister who takes care that they all take care of each other,
And
even if
the first
Lizzie
moment,
can't see it.
I think Lydia shows any hurt from Lizzie
Yes.
beyond just like brushing it off and making fun back at her. So I think that's part of why it was such a big moment, because people were like, "Oh no."
Yes,
Uh-oh.
yes.
Yeah.
Very well remembered because
Yeah.
yeah, the rest of the time. Well, and I think the rest of the time too, it's not like you're unaffected by it because, you know, Lydia would make Lizzie say like, "My sister Lydia is not a slut," but it all felt
Bantery.
it never
and-
it felt bantery, and we never saw Lydia be hurt and vulnerable like
Yeah.
that. So it's a real vulnerability moment.
The first little crack that we start to see.
Let's take a look at the comments. Comments. What did people
I'm
think?
curious what they're gonna be.
Just another nerd fighter girl says, "Can we talk about how good of an actress Mary Kate Wiles is?"
How
I think
good
she
of an
means she's
actress.
how good of an actress. We don't need verbs.
How good
When
of an
Lizzie
actress.
calls Lydia the boy crazy irresponsible substance abuser, Lydia fades for a moment before she bounces back to talk about the party. It's all excellent build up to what happens later in the videos. I especially love how Lydia thought to grab her sister's necklace from Caroline's bathroom. It's clear to everyone but Lizzie that Lydia adores her older sister. Yes, it is. I wouldn't say that Lizzie doesn't recognize that Lydia, you know, like loves her. Again, it's that same thing I was talking about before, that like they know they love each other because they're sisters, but I think she sees more care and responsibility coming from Lydia than she expects.
Yeah.
Forever Floating on Air says, rewatching for like the 4th time with this series, and honestly, I still don't think Lydia's and Lizzie's relationship is non-sisterly. Lydia is irresponsible, Lizzie is narrow-minded, it's a personality clash, not a lack of love. Wow, I mean, just saying what I was saying. Yeah, Lydia gets hurt, but it's not like Lizzie intentionally does it. Okay, but that doesn't mean, just because hurt's done unintentionally doesn't mean that apologies
it's okay.
aren't in order. Lydia constantly calls her lame and boring, saying they
That
have
is
nothing
true.
in common. Why would Lizzie act like she's her BFF? Fair, true. Why is it endearing when Lydia does it but spiteful with Lizzie? Okay, I mean, thank you. You're right. Since we're sitting here going like, oh, Lizzie's too hard on Lydia, I would say that yes, Lydia in fact does say a lot of hurtful things
That is
about
true.
Lizzie.
I would argue that I would imagine, based on their like childhoods, there was a certain amount of Lizzie doing it first that would cause
Yes,
Lydia
absolutely.
to sort
She's
of
older.
come back and
You know,
but
because
just my
I
speculation.
mean, canonically in the show, she's 4 years older, right? So
yeah.
yeah, but the rest of this comment does really acknowledge both were very poor at communication and both were at fault for their rocky relationship, but that's a sibling. Everyone gets along differently. They recognize each other's good points after the trauma. I hate people making Lydia out to be some innocent little girl. Did she deserve what happened? No, but it isn't Lizzie's fault either. They'll both learn from it and grow from it if they were real and all. No, I think that's a fair point.
An intense take.
An intense take. But it's true that there can be a kind of protectiveness of Lydia in a way that makes her not responsible for her choices. And she is responsible for her choices, even though she doesn't deserve some of the things that happen.
Sure. I think it's quite clear that she's, purposefully doing certain things that lead to some bad things.
Yeah, I mean, a
She
lot more
knows.
comments here about Lydia's face falls, Lydia's face when she calls you responsible. Yeah, those are people pointing out the probably most important moment of the episode.
There you go.
So they get it. Yeah, this just continues to go on. This series, Lydia, is much more likable than the books version of her.
I mean, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. I truly think the whole sister, the way that the show writes and builds the sister dynamic is the thing that is the best thing about it. And in terms of like,
Absolutely.
it's different from any other adaptation, and I think it's very commendable, and that's what makes it fun and different.
When we started out, and still at this point, the cast was 4 women. That's all there was. It was just these 4 women, and we remain the core of the show throughout. And I think
Yeah.
that obviously people are very excited about Darcy, but Darcy's in 10 episodes out of over 100.
Is he only in 10?
He's in 10.
That's
Maybe he's in
wild.
fewer episodes than Collins.
That's wild.
Yeah. I think Collins is in 12 and Darcy's in 10, and that includes a Q&A, which actually would make him in 9 out of the 100 main episodes. I think that that's true. And obviously that is the primary view of the book that most people have, is that it is this romance, but the sister relationships are very important in the book, and this show does, as you were saying, really lean into that, and I think
I like
that's
that.
when the show is at its best.
I agree. Although obviously I'm biased.
But I think that that's where we made some magic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of magic in the show, but also in terms of adaptation, that's the most unique thing.
I mean,
that-
yeah, I feel like that's like the LBD's legacy. Like that's what
Exactly,
the LBD had to
exactly.
offer that was different and new, and I hope what will be remembered for. And I'm proud of
I
that.
think so.
So proud
I
of
think
that.
so. Other very loose adaptations of Pride and Prejudice, I'm thinking of something like Bridget Jones' Diary, which, is a very loose adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, inspired by, perhaps, is
I just was on a
more-
podcast actually arguing this specific point
Well,
about Bridget Jones.
I agree with you. Yeah, I do get mad when people are like, "That's a bad adaptation of Pride and Prejudice." I'm like, I don't think you should.
I don't think
consider
it's
it
an
of
adaptation.
Pride
Yeah,
and
it's just
Prejudice.
inspired by. Yeah,
Inspired
There's
by
different-
elements of.
Yeah.
There are many parallels too, but we have eliminated the sisters, which is a
Right.
really core relationship. And where Bridget Jones' Diary is a loose adaptation, this is a fairly close adaptation, but with more emphasis on
the
female
sisters.
relationships, which are so important.
Yeah.
So important
I agree.
in women's lives. We need each
Yeah.
other. And so I'm very glad that you are in my life as a valued female friend. And
Likewise,
I'm
friend.
glad that Lizzie has Lydia as well.
Yeah, we've got a long ways to go on this show in terms of experiencing that relationship again. So, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I will always be most proud of that in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me again on
Thanks
the
for having
Look Back
me.
Diaries.
My pleasure.
Because I know the schedule. I know that you won't
you
be
won't
back
see me
for
for a
little bit.
while.
Because Lydia goes off and does her own vlogs, which everyone should absolutely watch because they are a vital part, which don't worry, we will talk about.
They're pretty
So-
fun. They're pretty fun. Well, I'll see you in a while.
Yeah. I mean,
fun,
in real life, I'll
everybody.
see you sooner, but
Yeah.
you'll see her, you, the viewer, later.
Come follow me and check out what I'm doing and be on
Yeah.
my Patreon if you want.
Go check out all her stuff.
Yeah.
She's great.
Thanks. You're great.
Thanks.